Hello everybody, it's me, Waitress, and I've been having way too many discussions with people being completely delusional about the movie Obsession, so here we go, getting on into part of it, and having a quick look at how that ends up playing out. Thank you.
I think one of the saddest parts of the movie happens right at the beginning. Ian is helping Bear rehearse how to confess his feelings to Nikki, all while knowing he'd been secretly hooking up with her the entire time. Looking back, that scene completely changes their friendship. It shows just how fake and one-sided it really was. #obsession.
There isn't any indication at all that that's true, except for Sarah implying that they had maybe slept together a long time ago. On top of that, Ian gives Bear good advice, and seems to not mind at all that Nikki might want to date him, or vice versa. Also, Ian gives Bear sincere advice.
No, he absolutely does not give him good advice, or sincere advice. Sarah says they've been hooking up on and off for 2 years. That means it has still been happening recently.
He 100% gave Bear clear instructions on what would be the right thing to do if he wanted to date Nikki, and Bear doesn't do it. That's Bear's fault. I shouldn't need to explain why some guy who is currently fucking Nikki wouldn't do that, and you have no idea why Sarah said that.
The man hooking up with her would know about how much she hates being called that, especially since Bear brings it up to him when Ian told him to call her that.
Ian doesn't tell Bear to call her that. Also, Bear knows not to call her that because she literally says it to him afterwards. So is Bear just totally okay to do it, even if someone else told him to? What is your point here, even if it is what you're saying happened, which it didn't?
He literally did. It's in the first 10 minutes. I'm wasting my time and don't respond, you'd just be wasting both of our time.
You're making this up. Bear is 25, he has agency, he disrespects Nikki's agency. Ian is his workmate who gives him good advice, which Bear ignores, and that costs him. If Bear did what Ian said, it would have helped. Bear didn't flirt like Ian said, and he didn't joke like Ian said.
So you didn't watch the movie. Thanks for clearing that up.
If you don't have any points for the movie, then there's nothing to debate about it, and you shouldn't just attack me as a person, please.
I said nothing about you as a personal attack. It's not my fault you didn't watch the movie Crispy Lettuce.
Okay, I'll prove it. Hey, this is Waitress, and let's just get this quickly summarized.
That I would choose you over everything.
Oh, that's
No,
everything.
stop. Okay, that was cringy. Oh my god.
So here's Ian immediately saying, hey, that's cringy, don't do that. And then right here we have Bear not taking Ian's advice and going ahead and acting incredibly cringy to then immediately be blown off by Nikki, right?
I lost my train of thought.
Good night.
Good night. What? Oh. Hey, do you remember in Mr. Lando's class when I forgot my mouthpiece and he was like in a really pissy mood that day and you told me you had an extra one and then you gave me yours, but like.
There, Lando liked me. You're on thin ice. Okay. Night.
Bear is immediately not following Ian's very good and sincere advice of don't do that.
No, don't get her anything. Dude, you gotta be way less sappy with Nikki, okay? She doesn't like that shit. She doesn't.
Flowers.
This turns out to be completely true, honest, and direct.
Candy that she said she likes.
Okay.
So right here, the waitress gives pretty good advice that she liked the way Bear acted and then encourages him to buy chocolates or something specific that Nikki has maybe said in the past that she likes. I think this is really good advice, but in this specific situation where Ian and Bear are close friends, as well as with Nikki, it is probably safe to say that they know more about like what needs to happen in the situation. And I guess as a viewer who can look back in time after watching the whole movie, we understand that Bear might have been into Nikki for a wee while, which I think in real life I've had experiences where you can see that this creates a bigger tension and a bigger build-up where it's a lot harder to get these things off of your chest. So I would again say that the advice, like Ian pushing back on this gift giving, would be less cute. Again, probably a bit more cringe, not really exactly the right time to do that right off the get-go, and better instead to loosen things up a bit with some more casual flirting and a shift in dynamic that isn't so abrupt as to suddenly start buying her favourite candy or this or that. Even though that is caring and intuitive and shows that you pay attention, I don't think that's what Bear needs right now, right? The waitress is also generally more correct. However, she isn't aware of the situation in very much detail.
What?
Thank you.
Just trying to caveat.
You want me to go?
for you guys.
If you want.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm sorry I made you do that.
So
No,
funny.
it's okay, you're okay.
Awful. Thank you for that. Have you ever actually like flirted with Nikki?
Here he is telling him to be more direct, which, again, later on, we know that Bea doesn't be direct.
Invite romance?
Teaser.
Inviting romance,
Be
teasing
playful.
her. So the teasing and the being, so people might think this is, or they will phrase it as be mean to her. He's saying be playfully mean to her. This is often something that isn't really good advice because a lot of young men can't handle it. They don't do it well. They're, you know, screams, "Hey, Frikki
Be
Nikki."
mean to her.
Playfully mean, yeah, but bring up Frikki Nikki.
You want me
Right here, this is something that is misquoted. You're misquoting it yourself. He said, bring up Frikki Nikki, but he's pre-caveated this by saying to be nice in a romantic way, to be playful, not to call her Frikki Nikki. He says, bring up Frikki Nikki. It turns out, we later on find out that Bea is fully aware that Frikki Nikki is, we know that Bea understands the situation, and we know that Ian understands the situation. So Bea isn't a, Bea isn't a robot. He's a real human being who has his own agency and free will, and Ian treats him that way. He's like, I think that you can handle this. There's a little bit of play and risk and complicated, but I have a short amount of time to make sure that you do the right thing. And to help you build up the confidence, release the tension, get over this hump that you've been through, not fall into bad habits, which might be masking other things. Little does Ian know that Bea's sentimentality is actually masking like an incredibly manipulative man who's willing to do basically the most extreme things over very, very small inconveniences to himself. This does not make Ian a bad person for not giving the perfect advice and for dialing in on all of Bea's problems and then solving it. It doesn't even make him a bad friend. Even the concept that Ian might be sleeping with Nikki 1 or 2 months before this means nothing. He doesn't need to tell Bea the honest truth about that, because that would honestly be cruel and quite brutal to map out reality in such a harsh way for someone who's, insecure and just trying to get over this hump. Instead, he gives him the confidence to do this.
She's sensitive.
Bea freaks out about this a little bit and says, call her Frikki Nikki. This leads to a second caveat on this piece, or caveat. Basically, he recontextualizes what is being said to help Bea understand, because as we know, when we talk to each other as human beings, it's always not completely clear. Words aren't completely understood and completely descriptive of what we are thinking and meaning. So here comes the second caveat.
Remember when you used to get bullied, everybody called you Frikki Nikki?
So here he's saying when you used to get bullied. Now, obviously, Ian and Bea aren't the ones who are bullying her. They are her friends helping her through this. So he's not saying go ahead and relive the situation of her being bullied by embodying the bully and then making her weak and vulnerable by something that she's already been beaten down with. He's not saying that, right? He's not giving that advice. If he did give that advice, I think we would all be like, holy shit, that's terrible, including Bea. Bea is obviously a little bit nervous, so he is careful around this. We also know that Ian has been fucking Nikki and knows how to get through to her. So, like, if, in my point of view, Ian is a good faith actor, a good agent here, he would be quite aware of how to, have fun and loosen up and what she ends up responding well to. For you guys, maybe saying that he's a bad faith actor, I mean, it's very clear. You just think that this is like a horrible, manipulative thing that Ian did. But even in that case, it's not very manipulative. It doesn't have that much power over him. And not to mention that the other advice around this turns out to be very good advice.
Please.
And that will,
Knock her off her
breath
feet.
away.
Take her breath away. Again, this is Bea being a little bit too overly sentimental. Not that this is ultimately a bad thing to be happening in a person, but we do find out that it's covering up a horrible, trend of behavior. Bea is a little bit sophisticated in his degeneracy. We can immediately see Ian being a little bit exasperated here. He's like, well, no, it's not meant to knock her off her feet, but it gets you to be normal, right?
Hey, Nikki?
And then, so now the third caveat is saying, okay, like he's not explaining it as in-depthly as I can, because he's not getting as much pushback as I get from people like you on Twitter, but he's saying now, you could almost imagine this as him just sweeping it away and being like, look, this is the overall message here.
That was so long ago, Donald, please.
And that will, like...
And also, none of this gets Bear to be more enthusiastic about doing this. He's so apprehensive. He's so fucking...
Just say,
typical.
Nikki, I think we should grab a drink sometime.
Yeah, I've grabbed drinks sometimes. She always invites you.
Yeah, exactly.
I asked you guys not to come to trivia for one night.
You can't ask her out at trivia, Bear. You can't. I'm not gonna let you.
It's a good, organic time to ask.
I love trivia night. It's all I have. I wake up every day.
Wait. Oh, man. So people have been telling me that Ian is adamant that he doesn't ask her out that night. But we just get a clear explanation for why that is. Right here. Ian doesn't have to be completely selfless in giving them everything he wants. He's just like, don't ruin trivia for me. I don't even think it would be that bad of a thing if this isn't manipulative at all, especially with the clarity of it.
Thinking about trivia.
I can't get real dumb.
You can't turn our weekly gathering of camaraderie and skill into your 7-year late promposal, Bear.
Then when
They have a pedigree of having a great time at trivia. Please do not turn this into, what does he say?
Rock hard. Thinking about trivia.
I can't get real dumb.
You can't turn our weekly gathering of camaraderie and skill into your 7-year late promposal, Bear.
Then when do I ask?
Any other time.
Your 7-year late prom proposal. We could maybe imply, like, I think people lean too much on their argument to be like, this is the way it is and that's the way it is. Who knows if he's really been in love with her for 7 years? Which, again, it's like, were Ian and Nikki just not meant to express their romantic relationships and also, like, bludgeon Bear with it because he'd been awkwardly crushing on Nikki for 4 or 5 years? I mean, even then, it's a joke when he says, like, 7 years late. Who knows what it means? Anyway, I don't know if you're going to manage to watch all of this. I'll try to edit it down a little bit.
Wait.
It's crazy that she does this straight away and kills the cat, and Bear still refuses to acknowledge anything. How can that be the case? While also you're just thinking, like, oh no, Ian really fucked Ian's the bad friend here. I'm not even saying Ian is like, I'm just saying he's not like a terrible guy. He's actually in a difficult situation. Not that the consequences are very high from his point of view. He doesn't know Bear will be an accomplice to his murder later. Good lord. But yeah, this is literally the movie that we are literally watching that you are literally saying that I am lying about. So, yeah, I hope that you can be more reasonable in understanding where this is coming from. You don't think that it's an attack on you or that I'm a worse person for thinking this way. Thank you so much. Yeah, please like and subscribe. Comment about your thoughts if you think I don't like it, and I'll come out with some more ideas on Obsession. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.